Okay, hopefully I can get people to come over. Let's go to yeah, ultra low latency, the normal, or not. Just bear with me. If you can see me, I will. I'm trying to figure this out still. Hopefully it's not too. There we go. There we go. Aha. Right, enable water stop. Yes, enable. Right, okay. We're live again. Okay, so hopefully we can get some people to come in. Steve, maybe. Okay. That was an absolute pain in the ass. Really was. Okay, hopefully now that I'm using StreamYards again, hopefully it's not going to be an issue no more. But hopefully you can hear me okay and see okay. Well, that was an absolute clusterfuck, wasn't it? Oh dear. I need a drink. Just wish I had something stronger than coffee. Okay. So, wow. What a night. Great fun. Thank you, Win Grace, for letting us know. Just don't know what was going on. There was some sort of bitrate issue with Streamlabs, which is weird. So I'm back with StreamYards. I'm trying to get used to Streamlabs because there's actually a lot more you can do with Streamlabs. But I'm going to take a quick look at my broadband speed because I know it'll be lower than normal, but it should still be quite high for this area. Download speed 70. Is it 70? What's the upload? Upload is 15. It's usually 16, but because I'm streaming, so I don't know what the hell was going on. It's just absolutely weird because it's never happened before. I've never had a bitrate issue, especially not one so serious that it interferes with YouTube. It just doesn't make sense. But oh well, shit happens, as they say. To figure out what the hell was going on there. Maybe there was just too much stuff. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, has Steve come across to this one? Hopefully he's found it. Third time's a charm, as they say. I still hate the fact that YouTube is always behind the actual streaming software by 6 seconds, I believe, was the average. But yeah, we shall see. Yeah, so Halo Season 2. The advantage is that with StreamYards, I can actually show you what we get for the opening scene, which kind of gave it a red flag for me anyway. But I'll bring it up and I'll show you exactly what we see. The first thing we see as it starts. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yes, there we go. It'll work. Yeah, so you would think that if we had a season 2 of a show like Halo, you would think that a recap of season 1 would be a good idea, right? But not for this, it won't. Not for this. Because the first thing we see is that. A naked guy on a gurney. Really? Is that the first thing you want to see when you're watching Halo? I mean, clearly they're aiming this towards women. But I would have thought that men would be the predominant audience. Because that would make sense, right? But the fact that we get this guy, it's all about him. It's not about the character, you know? And it's not like he actually does anything in the first 2 episodes of the show. And I got called I got accused of being brain dead because I said I posted on Twitter that it's basically no different to season 1. It's just as bad as season 1. I didn't say it was worse. I said it's just as bad. And I got accused of being brain dead. Go figure. But yeah, fun times. But oh well. What can you do? What can you say? Oh Jesus. But yeah, I just don't get it. But yeah, the usual stuff. Most of the top, for most of both episodes, the Master Chief is not in his armor. There's not much more I can say about Halo Season 2, to be honest. But that's why this is also a hangout. Because why not? Because I also found something else that I thought was interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is a game, right? This is for the game titled Rise of the Ronin. And the reason I want to talk about this for a bit is because it's very familiar, right? And I will play it and you will see exactly what I mean. It's only very short, 7 seconds, but you'll see what I mean when I say this is very familiar. Does that look familiar? Because that is supposed to be a new game on PlayStation, right? But here's the interesting thing. It looks a lot like Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection. He's waiting in another stream. Yeah, I had those third time lucky. There was a problem, but I think I'll play that thing I just did again, just in case you missed it, Steve. But I think you'll understand what I'm talking about because it does seem very familiar, very very familiar. So I'll just take it at the beginning, right? See, this looks very familiar. And it reminds me huge amount of the Ezio story from Assassin's Creed, because there is a scene in that where you actually glide on a Michelangelo flying glider thingy. So I think it's like one. You only do it once, but it's just it's old school, but it's supposed to be a new game. It it screams Assassin's Creed to me. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that, Steve. But I mean, the advantage is because I'm here on StreamYards.
Steve!
I mean, I liked the Ezio ones when it came out, but it got old pretty damn quick. I thought I'd do that because I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, it's like graphics for games and game designs going backwards, right? But it does remind me of the Ezio Assassin's Creed in looks and everything. So I don't understand how they can do that. I mean, it's almost as bad as say Disney paying $1.5 billion to have a stake in Epic Games just so that they can have Star Wars have Disney content on Fortnite. Oh wait, they did do that, didn't they? They've done that. I think that was like announced like today or yesterday or something. There was like an article about it. I can't. I don't know. I'm not going to go to the article because it is on that Park Place. If I could find an article that's not on that Park Place, I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad, but I'm just saying that I'd rather find it somewhere else, just as an extra bit of confirmation, if that makes sense. But I mean, I can't even say anything about Halo now because Halo's terrible. It really was. It really was terrible. I'm just trying to find. Yeah. Disney will also invest $1.5 billion to acquire an equity stake in Epic Games alongside the multi-year project. Walt Disney Company and Epic Games will collaborate on an all-new games and entertainment universe. It's not like Disney had the opportunity to make games when they bought Lucasfilm, right? Because didn't Lucasfilm come with that other side business where Lucas Arts, but what they did was they acquired it and then they shut LucasArts down, and basically 150 plus people lost their jobs. So yes, they did. It's the first thing they did when they acquired Lucasfilm. They shut down LucasArts. It's absolutely crazy what they did, and the fact that they're trying to get back into the gaming community by buying a stake in Epic Games to play to get involved in Fortnite of all things. Isn't your indie game LucasArts? That's a good question, Steve. From Windgrace? Yes. You haven't started it yet? I doubt it will have the LucasArts logo because they shut it down. The first thing that they did was shut it down. Because up to that point, Disney hadn't had any real business in games, had they? I mean, especially with Star Wars. I mean, who was it that did the Fallen Order film games? I can't remember who it was. What company was it? It was Electronic Arts, EA. So that was Electronic Arts. So yeah, EA did a couple. They've done the Fallen Order, the 2 Fallen Order games, and I think they're going to be doing the 3rd one as well. Which game is it? I know it's an indie game, but which indie game? Because I'm pretty sure that LucasArts does not exist anymore. There we go. During and following the acquisition of Lucasfilm by the Walt Disney Company in 2012, Disney halted all internal development at LucasArts on April 3rd, 2013. The Fate of Atlantis. Let me do a quick search. I am searching on here, but it's easier for me to do this. Let's see. The Fate of Atlantis. Initial release date 1992. So it's really old game. So of course it would have LucasArts because LucasArts was shut down in 2013. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's why. I used to love some of those old Star Wars games, like do you remember? I don't know if you remember Super Star Wars. It was a Nintendo. That used to be fun when that first came out. I think it was Super Nintendo. Yeah, I'm sure it was Super Nintendo. But it was just one of those old platform shooter games, right? Nothing special. But yeah. Yeah, well, so this live stream is a bit different to what I was hoping it would be because there was a problem with the other streaming software. So I had to make some changes, which is absolutely a pain in the arse. You did you? I've actually got a few old games. I mean, I've got the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and they're still under the LucasArts banner. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of those games were super hard. They were. But I remember, I think what was the first Star Wars game I played? I think it was that Trench Run, I think it was, on Amiga. I think that was the first Star Wars game I played. And that was that one where you just use the mouse and you got like the crosshair that you go across the screen. It was all just wireframe models. That's all it was. I think the second Star Wars game I played was probably Empire Strikes Back. The same game, but the second in the series, obviously. So you ended up having to destroy walkers and stuff like that in the game. It wasn't as popular as the first one, though. It was Trench Run. But the annoying thing is, I think, if I remember correctly, with the Trench Run, you would destroy a certain number of TIE fighters. Then you would end up going across the surface of the Death Star. You had to shoot the blaster towers. Then it would go into the trench, and you had to start off with. You had to shoot a few of the blaster towers in the trench, and then you used to get to the end, and you used to have to double-click both mouse buttons to fire the torpedoes. And you had a very short amount of time to actually do it before you hit the wall. It was crazy. But it was a thing that the family used to play, actually. We used to have like a competition who can get the highest scores. Kind of like we used to do with the Atari, actually. Mostly with Breakout. And what was the other one that we used to play? It was Breakout. My dad used to love Space Invaders. Asteroids. Asteroids was one that we had competitions on as well, which was that could get quite difficult, actually. Really good. Yeah. I used to like Firefox, though. I don't know if you remember. No, not Firefox. Star Fox. No, it was Firefox, wasn't it? It's on the Nintendo. Oh, great. Now my keyboard isn't working. Was it Firefox? I think it was Firefox. Firefox. Yeah, it was Firefox. Hey, I got it right. That was an old game on. Yeah, I know. I remember that. How could you actually score 0 on Asteroids? He scored 0 on Asteroids because he blew the planet up first, right? Sorry, no. Yeah, it was the planet, wasn't it? But at least it wasn't as bad as Sam blowing up an entire solar system. But yeah, it's interesting. There was something else I was going to bring up. What was it? I forgot to fucking bookmark it, didn't I? That's great. I didn't bookmark it. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about something that I was supposed to talk about last week, but I didn't. Let's talk about Supergirl. I think there's a new article. I think this is the new article as well. Just check. That's working all right. Yeah, we go. That's right, because that's the large article. That's the big article. There's another article. Pretty sure I thought I bookmarked it. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that was the wrong one. The more recent one is what I wanted. There we go. Let's do that. The more recent one. Oh, this is well thought out stream. It's distracted by zoom this in. It's distracted by all the fuck ups earlier. The poster prints itself. Yeah. Supergirl is all cock. Yeah. Or I prefer all cocky Supergirl. Although that sounds weird. But yeah, I think I'm actually quite happy with this, actually, because I think she's a talented actress. She was brilliant as in House of Dragon. And the fact that James Gunn, I think it was James Gunn originally that picked her for the cast. I mean, they chose her. I think was it a year ago that they gave her the tap to be Supergirl? I think it was a year ago. So the Australian-born Alcock played the young Princess Ren. I won't bother saying it. I haven't watched it in a while, so I'll probably have to go back and watch it anyway. In the first season of HBO's Game of Thrones spin-off House of the Dragon, she beat out Coda actress Amelia Jones and Meg Donnelly. The latter who voiced Supergirl in such DC animated movies as Legion of Superheroes and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was I thought that was in the Arrowverse. Alcock is repped by CAA Shanahan Management, Entertainment 360, and Curtis Brown. There's been buzz that the new Supergirl will appear in Gunn's Superman Legacy, which is about to go before the cameras. It hasn't been filmed yet in Georgia, but that's not 100%. What we know now is that she'll appear in a DC-based project before starring in her solo feature, Supergirl: Woman of Tomorrow. So we know the basics, right? But I mean, I am actually very happy with the choice. Have they? I must have missed that. But Mr. Windgrace, I believe you would know more about that than I would. You didn't want House of the Dragon, or you didn't watch? But to be honest, we didn't. None of us Game of Thrones fans really wanted House of the Dragon, because I mean it's a prequel, so we know what happens in the end. But you haven't watched Game of Thrones. Oh my God, Windgrace, you should watch it, man. The last 2 seasons are pretty bad because the writers rushed it because they were hoping to work with Disney on what was it? Was it Star Wars? They wanted to work. They were tapped to go and work on Star Wars, and they ended up being cancelled. The projects got cancelled. So they regretted screwing around the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, which shame on you, basically. But yeah, I'm actually very glad. I'm glad that they selected Millie for that. Yeah, but there is questionable things about James Gunn doing. I think there's a lot of people that don't like James Gunn doing Superman or DC content, isn't there? There's a thing about that going around. I think Mr. H commented on it. I can't remember. It would have been over a week ago. Well, beginning of the week, probably. But Windgrace, I suggest you go and watch. I would suggest Game of Thrones to you anyway, regardless, because I mean, you're missing out, pal. I hope you're not going to tell me that you haven't watched The Last Kingdom or even The Vikings. Because if you like some of those old medieval style shows, then I think you'll like those. But yeah, it's a shame you haven't watched Game of Thrones. So it's just, I loved it right up until the end. Really, I'm glad they finished the story off, but at the same time, I hated the way they did it. KFC has arrived. Cheeky sod. No worries, mate. It's funny because on Streamlabs, I had a lot more set up to do, and it took me a while to set it up, and I just wanted to get live because I missed my last live last week, didn't I? I was going to do a live on Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? I can't remember. I think it was Friday to talk about Supergirl, wasn't it? So, yeah, Steve, did you get enough for all of us? Speaking of which, I had a Burger King yesterday, and I got myself some chicken nuggets whilst I was, as I ordered that. So I had some chicken nuggets, and I'm actually very tired right now, and this is why. I had the chicken nuggets last night, a couple of hours before I went to bed, and I was in bed. I couldn't sleep. I was struggling to get sleep, so I listened to some music like I do whenever I have trouble sleeping. I listen to some music. He didn't win, Grace. That's it, Steve. You're cancelled. But yeah, I struggled to get to sleep, so I listened to some music, and I finally got drowsy. So I turned the music off, and I closed my eyes, and I know it takes me about 20 minutes. I think it was 20. Yeah, it's 20 minutes for me to actually fall asleep. And in that time, a fox decided to go between my house and next door, and start screaming. And I tell you what, I swear to God, in the 5 years that I've lived in this house, that's never happened before. Never happened before. And all it was constantly wailing and screaming. I know it's a fox because I used to do a lot of things around for farmers, and one of those things was to control populations, so to speak. Didn't say anything. It just screamed. They can make a right racket. They're sometimes they can sound like. In some cases, they've been known to sound like screaming children. And it's really, sometimes it can be creepy, especially if you're I grew up in a town called Maple Cross, and we had a woods. So we didn't often we didn't walk through the woods at night unless we were in a group. But if we were walking alone, we usually skirt around the woods, and now every now and then we would hear these noises coming from inside the woods, and it was just so creepy. It was like being in a horror movie or something. What song's that? What does the fox say? But yeah, they can make an awful racket. They really can. And the fact that it's the first time around here, I live near a target range. So a lot of the time there's a lot of guns, a lot of heavy artillery being fired around here. In fact, recently they've been test firing and training on the new Swedish-made artillery pieces that they have, mobile artillery, which is actually quite impressive. But that's besides the point. I don't think I've ever heard of it, to be honest. I don't think I've heard of it. But if I haven't heard of it, it's probably not my cup of tea. I don't drink tea, I drink coffee. So. It's not my mug of coffee. But yeah, what does the fox say? It's a joke song, kind of like Alice. Over 1 billion views, really? I bet you wish you had 1 billion views. I think we all wish we had 1 billion views. Speaking of stuff like that, I've finally exceeded 75. I'm closing into my 100 subscriber goal for the summer, which is awesome. 24 more subscribers. That's all I need. You wish you had a couple of thousand. Don't we all? But I don't think there's anything new, specifically not today. I'll have a look. Let's have a quick look on Deadline. What do we have? I don't think we have anything really new. Oh, speaking of Atari, exclusive Atari celebrity game show in works from executive producers Jay Blumenfield and Tony Marsh. Now that could be interesting. Let's have a look at this. I was talking about the Atari, so let's have a. As I mentioned, the Atari in this stream. Let's have a look and see what they say. How does that look? There we go. Right, let's get me up bigger. There we go. You can see my ugly mug closer now. Yeah. So this is interesting. Let's get rid of this. Bloody articles. Right. Missed that Atari logo. So simple. Atari has enlisted executive producers Jay Blumenfield and Tony Marsh to create a game show centered on the famed gaming brand, tentatively titled The Great Atari Celebrity Showdown. I'll tell you what, that sounds pretty damn good, doesn't it? I kind of like the idea of watching celebrities fail at old Atari games. The pair come to the project after executive producing such series as the Chelsea Handler Show, Here Come the Newlyweds, Restaurant Stakeout, Gigolos, and Torment of Laughs. That's actually interesting. I mean, when did this article come out? Today, this morning. Okay. I didn't see it. I didn't see this in the list when I was looking for it earlier. We're beyond excited to partner with Atari to bring you the ultimate celebrity game show with all the drama, comedy, and nostalgia that comes with it. Blumenfield said, "This show celebrates the history of gaming, the culture of entertainment, and the joy of competing like we're kids. It's one the whole family won't want to miss." I do actually think that will be amazing. And welcome back, Steve. I thought, in case I didn't say that. Careful, you might have a nightmare, because sometimes when I have chicken, a few hours before I go to bed, I either get woken up by a fox screaming, or I have a nightmare and I wake up smiling. It's just who I am. But this is interesting. Stated Marsh. It's going to be amazing. You'll get to watch celebrities do something they rarely ever get to do, which is actually have fun. And sometimes a walk down memory lane is just what we need to keep our sanity in this crazy world. And it is a crazy world, a crazy, crazy world. Added Atari's chairman and CEO Wade Rosen, whatever. Atari has remained a widely recognized and loved brand in pop culture for over 50 years, so it is no surprise that many celebrities have a strong connection to the brand. I look forward to seeing them share their personal stories and compete in a fun game show setting. I'll tell you what, the more I read of this, the more I'm like, I'm up to watch this. I will definitely be watching this. Well, I mean, it could be Z-list. It could be any. It could be could combine most of them. Well, that would be interesting. Maybe the highest, most popular ones, the ones that have like million plus subscribers or something like that. Could you imagine Mr. Beast being on the show? Oh dear. I don't think there'll be well, maybe Mr. H or someone like that. I'm not sure about Disparu though. I think he would do it. Founded in 1972, Atari is an arcade game pioneer, also responsible for video game consoles like the Atari 2600. The company owns and/or manages a portfolio of more than 200 games and franchises, including world-renowned brands like Asteroids, Centipede, Missile Command, Pong, and Roller Coaster Tycoon. Among other upcoming TV projects for the company is the docuseries Game Changers, the story of Atari, from Emmy and IDA award-winning filmmakers Dan Cuthforth, whatever, and Jane Lipsitz. That sounds German, so the S is a Z and the Z is an S. Atari is represented by independent artist group as a Blumenfield and Marsh. As our no comments. Interesting. I would have thought some people would maybe not. That's actually interesting. I wasn't expecting to see anything like that. That's actually pretty good news. That's definitely something I'll be interested in watching. Especially considering the fact that I played the games. I've got hiccups now for some reason. But I'd be interested in seeing that. I really would. But yeah. I know you say under 1,000 subs, but they'd probably be well over 1,000 subs, to be honest. Like I said, probably hundreds of thousands of subs. Otherwise, they're not celebrities, are they? I mean, they'll be popular, but that's about it, right? But yeah, that's interesting. I never saw that. I've looked through all of these this morning as well, and I didn't see none of these. A real Finding Nemo story? That series? National Geographic just launched A Real Bug's Life. Oh, that's yeah. I get you. It's not actually real. It's just like a docu-series. Okay. Tornado. IFC Films and Shudder take North American rights to John McLean survival thriller starring Tim Roth, Jack Lowden, and Koki, whatever. Well, if that was on Deadline, I wonder what we have. Let's have a look at film quickly. Liam Neeson in Ice Road. Oh, they're making Ice Road 2, Road to the Sky. Interesting. Interesting. I wasn't a particularly big fan of Ice Road, to be honest. I preferred the grey. The grey is so much better. He's gifted for YouTube nobodies. No, literally, the title will be Ice Road 2, Road to the Sky. What? Road to the Sky? This makes sense. It's almost like having a Mad Max film without Mad Max in it. Oh, shit, they've done that. Comes out soon. Anything else? Let's have a look. Kate Winslet led World War II drama. Lee acquired by Roadside Attractions Vertical. Okay. Neon International through international sales on Imperative Entertainment. Not much about films in there. Film business, yeah, but not so much about films. Okay. What we got? That was Deadline. What about Variety? Let's have a quick look at Variety. Let's go with film. Anything new? 2 hours ago, Dark Star Pictures acquired alien romance comedy The Becomers from Zach Clark. Interesting. Bob Marley, One Love. Ryan Reynolds, Maximum Effort Productions, and Paramount Pictures extend first look deal. Nice. Interesting. TV. Not really interesting. I was joking. Tokyo Vice. Really? Tokyo Vice remains the best show you're not watching in a more expansive season 2 TV review. Okay, if you say so. Uh-oh. There he is. Are you happy, Steve? There he is. He can't get past the microphone. Thank God for that. He'll curl up there. Have you been in the whole time, or have you been out? Are you wet? You're wet, so you've been out the whole time. Okay. Oh, they will they? Assassin's Creed Red. I wonder. Star Wars Outlaws. Ubisoft, huh? You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wish they would just give us a Knights of the Old Republic movie or series. It can be live action, it can be animated. I don't care. Just give me something with Revan other than a computer game. That would be nice. Revan is my favorite Sith Lord. Well, he's a Jedi who becomes a Sith, then he becomes a Jedi and becomes a Sith again. Interesting. There's an interesting story. You did you? Is she naked? Not that I care. It depends on who makes it, you know. And also, it depends on who's in charge of Lucasfilm at the time. Because I know the president of Lucasfilm will have to listen to Iger whilst Iger's still in charge. But the way things are going, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, people are hoping that Iger's going to lose his job. There's high hopes that KK will leave in November, but we'll see. We'll see what happens and see how it goes. Nugget, you're a pain in the ass, you know that. Yes, you do, don't you? Oh, some are a bit saucy, are they, Steve? The old deviant art. Dip. Back in the box. Cat in a box. Now, if I lock the cat in a box, does the cat still exist or does he not? Schrodinger's cat. Both exists and doesn't. If that makes any sense. I don't think there's anything else. I think we covered extras. I mean, it's just a little hangout, so there's nothing really specific. But I will quickly have a look at. Let's have a look at the Hollywood Reporter. Maybe there's something there. Film. Christopher Nolan reveals why he no longer comments on fan theories. Okay. Because no one wants to give the fans what they want. No? Godzilla -1 VFX Oscar nom seemed to be an unreachable goal. Now I was disgusted when I found out that it didn't even get nominated for the visual effects for Godzilla -1. That was insane. I mean, it's got to be the one film with the best visual effects in a few years at least, and it didn't even get nominated for visual effects. It didn't even get nominated. More Berlin Film Festival stuff. Oh, yeah. I heard there's a Quiet Place 3 in the works. I think it's called the A Quiet Place Day 1, I think they call it. So it's going to be all set during the actual invasion, not the aftermath, which might be interesting. It might not come to streaming. If you're about -1, it might not come to streaming. But on the plus side, it might. Well, they're hoping to release it on DVD and Blu-ray. I think on the 24th of February, so the 24th of the month. So it's not that it might not be that far off before you can get it. I missed out on seeing it in the cinema because it was on so late. But the only way I would be able to get there was on the bus, and because it was on so late, I wouldn't have been able to catch the last bus home. And it's at least 10 miles from here to the cinema, so it's not exactly somewhere I want to get stuck 10 miles away, if that makes sense. The teaser for A Quiet Place Day 1. I was going to I was going to do it tomorrow to give me something to do because there's not many trailers around at the moment, not for sci-fi anyway. Both of them were, weren't they? I mean, but from what I could tell, they're not holding back with day one because we know what they look like. We know how fast they are. We know they kill and eat us. So they're not hiding it. It's just going to be constant action, running, fighting, killing, blah blah blah. All the good stuff, all the good stuff. Yeah, it was yesterday because I actually started watching. I actually watched a Quiet Place, the first one today because I never got past the halfway point. So I thought I'd take a quick look, and I got a little bit. I think I got like 2/3 into it, and then I stopped. I did also say that I was going to watch Aquaman, uh, The Lost Kingdom, didn't I? I got 5 minutes into that, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, thank you." Yeah, it was bad. Sometimes you can just tell from the start of a movie that how bad it's going to be. Just like with Halo, the first thing you see is the Master Chief naked on a fucking bed. Seriously, lost interest. It's just as bad as the previous season. What's already streaming? What's already streaming? I think I've forgotten what we was talking about there. Oh, Aquaman. Yeah, it's for rent. You can rent or buy it now on Prime in this country. I don't know where it'll be available there. But I got a hold of it by other means. Don't ask. Yeah. Yes, it's already streaming. It's just the way that Jason Momoa looks. He looks like he looks different. I don't want to say it because I like Jason Momoa. He's always there. He's in my head. He's always Ronan Dax, right? He's always Ronan Dax from Atlantis, and that's his best role ever. And he hasn't been able to top it. A lot of people say that he has. He's very successful. But I mean, yes, he's successful, but it just turns out that he's not as good an actor as I thought he was. He's okay actor, but I mean, he's not. He's not great. Yeah, he's just basically himself. And the thing about Ronan Dex when he was in Atlantis, he was it was new. You'd never seen him before, and the character was strong and then all of a sudden, every single role he's had, he's basically been the same. So it doesn't take anything away from Ronan Dex. So I mean, it's just I don't think it's his acting. I think it's the roles he's been in. It's the jobs he's had. It's like with a lot of actors that you could argue that Nicolas Cage, he's a great actor, but he's just had a lot of shit roles, right? You could argue that easily. No, I'm pretty sure that's just going to be Dwayne Johnson. Look how I say that. Dwayne Johnson. Roll my eyes. I can't stand it. I mean, he's everywhere. I still can't believe he was in Voyager He was in an episode of Voyager. Oh. And 7 of 9 gives him a 7 of 9 pile drives him, I think. Well, no, suplex gives him a suplex. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, he was always playing himself because he was a wrestler, right? So his way of acting is just being himself. No, it was not the best episode of Voyager. That was a UPN thing. All of the UPN shows had to have wrestlers in them for cross promotion. Just no one watches the other shows. Exactly. I think so. I'm pretty sure Seven gives him a suplex in that episode, doesn't she? In her tight cat suit. Yeah, well, that would make sense, you know? That makes sense to have the wrestlers be Orions. But I don't think a wrestler would have the patience to sit there and have Klingon makeup put and stuff put on him, would he? Would they? So, yeah. The Big Show. You know, when I really loved watching wrestling, this is going to be nostalgic for some of you if you follow wrestling. But when I was younger, when I first started watching wrestling, I got into it. It was Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, um, a few others, Legion of Doom. Who else was there? The Bushwhackers. Used to love the Bushwhackers. They were hilarious. They're funny. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's early 90s, mid to early mid 90s. Yeah, early 90s, maybe even late 80s. Oh, yeah, don't forget the British Bulldog. The Rockers, yeah. What about the Natural Disasters? I think they were late 90s, weren't they? The Natural Disasters. What was it? Earthquake and what was the other one? It was Earthquake and I can't remember who the other one was. Earthquake and Typhoon. Thank you, Steve. But Legion of Doom used to be my favorite tag team, followed closely by the Bushwhackers. There was the Mountie as well, wasn't there? And one time he teamed up with Big Show, didn't he? When Big Show wore the police uniform, I think it was. Dude, that would be crazy. Yeah, and if it was 5 hours away as well, that's crazy. Well, have you got that? Have you got 100 people waiting for for your video in 5 hours or something? Not, not for some, Steve. Not for some. Anyone with 1 million subscribers gaining millions of views per video would be well within that threshold of having at least 100 people waiting for hours. Seriously, the Y-Files, 102 waiting. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I just find it interesting that there's not many things being talked about other than Gina Carano and Disney with Elon Musk. Renona Earp returns with To Be Special. Not interested. Renona Earp was terrible. Look, there's loads of people suing people now. Days of Our Lives actress Ariana Zucker sues show's producer for sexual harassment. Seriously? Chris Hemsworth Limitless renewed at Nat Geo. Okay. National Geographic. Okay. David Nutter looks back on his best and worst episodes from Thrones to Sopranos. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Oh Jesus. I think people are more interested in Gina than Trump right now, aren't they? She's got so much support behind her as well. She did a few days. When was it? I saw it come up today, but I think it was a couple of days old at least. But Gina did a video with Brett Cooper, or she did a live stream with Brett Cooper. I tell you what, Gina looked really nice in that interview. I mean, I keep thinking of Gina Carano when she was in Mando. You know, when she had that tattoo on her face with the dark black hair, she didn't look particularly nice. But seeing her without all that stuff, she looked really nice. She really did. Netflix unveils series about life of Spanish singer-songwriter Julio Iglesias. Yeah. Ralph Lee's leaving the BBC Studios productions. Yeah. Not going to help much, is it? Not going to solve any problems with Doctor Who. Nope. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, there's not a lot to talk about tonight. Not now, anyway. We covered most of it. And other things as well. Yeah, earlier on. I still can't believe that guy on Twitter. I basically said it's no better. I basically said season 2 of Halo is no better than season 1, and he says, "Are you brain dead?" The first 2 episodes are far superior to the first season. Like, have you watched it really? Did you watch? Did you bother to watch it, or you just trolling for reaction? Seriously, no names will be mentioned. My first. That's actually the worst thing someone said to me in either a comment or a video. Yeah, yeah. So it begins. No, I am not done with Halo. I'm going to keep doing the Halo videos. I'm trying to figure out a new way to do my reaction videos. But yeah, I'm not done with it. I've just got to figure out a way to make some changes. And now I've got to figure out why Streamlabs wasn't working properly when I was doing the stream. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep going. But well, I'm hoping that something will happen, because for most of it, he wasn't in his armor. So I mean, can you think of the Master Chief from Halo not wearing his armor for maybe 2/3 of 2 episodes? I think in one episode you see him in his armor for like 5 minutes. So it's Halo. He's supposed to be out there fighting the Covenant, right? Supposed to be out there killing aliens, kicking ass. And he's just laying there, and he's just sitting there and talking to people. It's not what Master Chief is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be this superhuman, genetically engineered super soldier, right? I mean, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember that Master Chief never takes his armor off, because it's a life support system, kind of like Vader's outfit. If Vader didn't wear his outfit, he would basically die, right? Or imagine an actor that has, who's hired to do a role, who has to have a helmet on and doesn't have a choice in the matter. I have a feeling that in Halo, this guy stipulated that he didn't want to end up like oh, I can't even say it. I can't even say it. He didn't want to end up like Pedro and get paid for it as a voice actor, so he was basically said in the contract that he wants the stipulation changed to say that he has to remove the helmet and remove the armor, because at the end of the day, it's a huge pay cut between a live action actor and a voice actor, right? It's a huge drop in pay, right? And you can understand why Pedro was up in a fuss about not taking your helmet off, right? Because essentially, even if he was in the armor, because you can't see him, he's basically still getting paid as a voice actor, despite the fact that he's wearing the armor on screen. Oh, please don't. Please don't. He's not even a good actor, the guy that's playing Master Chief. He's not even a good actor. I don't think he got hired for his acting ability. I really don't think he got hired for that at all. Not one bit. I think he got hired because he might appeal to the demographic that the show is aimed at. Because all this stuff, all these action movies and action shows, right? They're not directed at men anymore, right? They're all directed at women now, aren't they? Yeah, because if a show fails, it's because of the bigger, men, white men. That's it's our fault for the failure of a movie or a failure of a show. It's not the fact that it's completely utter crap. I mean, I don't think I haven't ever done a video on Robin Hood, the Canadian Robin Hood, and there's a reason for that. It's absolutely fucking terrible. And now they got, now they have a common thing saying about cultural appropriation in America. People are complaining that there are too many white people with dreadlocks and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's different. And I'm getting tired now, so I am going to go to bed. Because, like I said, I didn't even get 10 minutes of sleep last night. So, yes, there has been a woman Robin Hood in comics for years. Yet Director X likes to say, "I'm the first person that did it. I made her a woman. I made her a black woman." Robin Hood robs from the rich, gives to the poor, but he never did that. He stole the taxes and gave the taxes back to the poor, right? That's the original Robin Hood. But it all gets perverted. I mean, even Disney's Robin Hood is not actually Robin Hood. It's just their interpretation of a cultural legend, essentially. Folklore. But anyway, I am going to go. I am tired. I'm going to go to bed. Hopefully, I'll sleep well tonight. So, yeah. Thanks, Steve. That was Yorkshire Geek, Windgrace, and anyone else who popped in. And please, if you are still watching this terrible live stream, please do hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and share it if you want, and comment down below any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions. And yeah, and everyone watch out for foxes. They're very dangerous. Even Robin Hood is a fox to Disney. And yeah, so take care, guys. Stay safe. May the Schwartz be with you. Take care.